Let's start from the beginning. I was born with what's called a high imperforate anus. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Very exciting times for me at birth. It basically means that I was born without the actual anal opening. So at birth, they had to actually create it through surgery. I like to tell people that doctors made me an asshole. I was also born with what's called, without a sphincter muscle. For those of you that aren't aware what this is going to get a little descriptive for you. But the sphincter muscle is that handy little muscle in your rectum that holds everything up that basically makes you continent. Without that, I'm sure you can imagine the type of life I may have led over the last few years. So that's come with many challenges in my life.
That was Derick Fage delivering his TEDx talk. I first met Derick in September 2016 when I was on breakfast television for the first time and he interviewed me. Derick and I had an immediate connection beyond just host and guest. There was something and is something very special about him, and we seem to relate on a different level. As an inspiring host myself, I asked Derick if he wouldn't mind being interviewed by me, and he agreed immediately. When did you first realize, Derick, that you were different from your peers?
Probably grade 2 was probably the big eye-opening, where kids weren't wearing diapers anymore. Mm-hmm. I was still wearing diapers.
Was there something that was different about you emotionally because you were dealing with that would also maybe make you a target?
Yeah, I was pretty outspoken, so I think I was very defensive. Probably because when it's recognized, the bullying ensues and kids pick on you, make fun of you. Some of it I think they think is innocent enough, but it still hits you emotionally. So I used to go and take my allowance and buy chocolate and bring it back to school and throw it out and say scrambles and give free candy to kids because I thought I'd be able to.
They'll like you.
I had great friends though. I always tell people, I didn't have a bad childhood. My parents were amazing. My siblings were amazing. I had great friends in the neighborhood, but I just struggled. Yeah. And later years, you feel embarrassed that, that you had to go that far to think that you needed more friends, and I already had them,
I understand that because you want to be like everyone else. You want to be accepted. You don't want to say, oh, I'm lucky to have a few friends. You want to just feel like every other child where you're one of the gang and everybody likes you and you have a lot of friends. Not that you're almost lucky to have people like you.
And you just, I guess, just want to prove yourself all the time.
Yeah. As Derick grew older, he made friends and he had enjoyable memories, but during our interview, he opened up and told me about his darkest days.
Between the ages of 15 and 18, that was probably my worst years of depression. Changed schools constantly because I wanted a fresh start all the time. I always say I did the full tour of all the elementary and high schools in Ottawa. I was living with my friend Gary. A couple of nights I put a plastic bag beside my bed. I thought I would end it.
And what made you not do it?
I think don't know the exact reason. Not sure if I really wanted to do it, but it crossed my mind. I put it there for a reason. Maybe it was feeling sorry for yourself at the time and needing sort of that message to yourself that you're having a bad time. But my best friend was in the room next to me, so that probably had something to do with it. glad I didn't.
As one can imagine, this kind of medical condition would present challenges for someone to feel comfortable and really open themselves up to intimacy. So you brought it up, so I'm going to ask you, Derick, how does this impact your sex life?
Well, early on, I broke off every single relationship I ever had before it got too intimate, because I did not want to reveal my medical issue. It was too embarrassing. I could reveal it to, some friends and family already knew. New friends I could reveal it to moving into those teenage years. But to a girlfriend, I wasn't prepared to do it. So, yeah, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. Perhaps one of the main reasons is because of that. So,
or maybe it's because you were beating people up and always
me?
defensive.
Never.
Although you were throwing chocolate.
I was throwing chocolate in a nice way. I didn't throw it at people. I threw it to them. I came to the realization that I had to say something. If I wanted to have intimate relationships, I had to tell the person that I was dating. You realize that people are more understanding than you think. Still in the back of your mind, that shame and embarrassment creeps in every once in a while, and you're kind of reluctant to share it. But I think I'm completely over that now. There were just those moments every once in a while where I'm never going to meet a girl, and who's going to want me? What if something happens during sexual intercourse? What are they going to think of me? They'll be disgusted. Those things started creeping into my mind.
Do those things ever creep in your mind today?
No. I have times when I'm intimate with my wife Monica where, I feel an accident coming on or something, and right during sexual intercourse, of course I'm the typical Canadian. I'm so sorry. It's so true. I do. I'm like, Sonny, I'm so sorry. I have to run, and she doesn't care, But every time I'm like, oh God, and of course if I feel it, yeah, I still get that anxiety, and then the thought of if something happens, oh my God, it's going to be so embarrassing. But then every time, she's so wonderful.
Despite his medical condition, Derick is passionate about life and connecting with people. He's grateful to be able to inspire others.
Somebody who has a public persona, who does a live 3-hour television show every day, who goes out to events, who enjoys life to its fullest, is comfortable having fecal incontinence and living life like everybody else is doing. I swim, I water ski. Do I have to manage everything very carefully? Do I know where every bathroom is in every place I go into immediately? Absolutely, but you can't let it stop yourself. So no, I wouldn't change it.
After our interview, we discussed the TEDx speech that I had given a year prior, and I encouraged Derick to apply as well, and of course, as expected, he was accepted. I had the honor of being his coach throughout the process, and the response to his talk was off the charts. Derick's willingness to share his story has led him to becoming an ambassador for the Canadian Continence Foundation, where he even delivered a keynote speech. Derick Fage exudes gratitude and love, and I am forever grateful to be his friend.
I know it sounds strange to be grateful to have fecal incontinence, but again, it's also grateful because now I've gotten to share my message. It has shaped who I am. I'm glad I had it because I think I would have been a very different person, and I'm not sure I would have liked that person as much as I like who I've become. I feel good!